Hello, hello. Welcome to tonight's live. It is 7 o'clock Thursday night, and usually I do this on Wednesdays, but I don't know what happened to Wednesday. It just flew by, and I realized that I missed my normal Wednesday night live schedule. But I figured if I let everybody know a little bit ahead of time, that hopefully some people will be able to join me here live. And we're going to do some pepper planting tonight. So I've got a few things set up here ready to go, but I kind of wanted to just go over a few other things that are going on in my indoor garden. I've been doing lives pretty much once a week now here for about 3 weeks, sharing with you the things that I've been planting and just trying to give, tips and tricks on how I do things, not necessarily the right way, but just the way that I've been doing it as far as starting things from seed indoors. I'm here on the Saskatchewan prairies in Canada, growing zone 3. We just went through a super cold spell early February. My birthday was February 17th, and I think it was the coldest day of the whole winter. Went to like minus 37 degrees Celsius, and with wind chill, it was like in the minus 40s Celsius. So I spent my birthday indoors, didn't even step foot outside all day. But so we had that little spell there for, not too long, maybe less than a week. And now we are enjoying plus temperatures. It is melting like crazy out there. And, spring's only a few weeks away. So that's when I get more excited about starting seeds and getting things growing so that we are ready for, our outdoor gardening season. Peppers are something that I always like to start indoors myself. I like to try different varieties, and you can get some of these from your nursery, all planted up, ready to go into the garden. Later in the season, closer to everybody's last frost date. But you can get more varieties if you go with planting them from seeds yourself. So I'm not very adventurous into peppers, but if you go to any of those online seed companies and start going through those catalogs, there are so many different peppers. I prefer sweet peppers. I'm not really a hot pepper person, but I did want to thank Glenda Livingston, who's part of our Gardeners Growing Together community. I've got the link to it in the chat and the link to it down below. So if you haven't heard about our community, this is a interactive community that I have set up on the school app. And it is, growing every day. There's new members joining us every day. We're up to, I think, 44 members. So, I'm hoping we can hit that 50 member tonight. If you're watching my live here on YouTube and you want to be part of a great community where you can come in and ask questions, share your knowledge, tell us where you're growing, what you're growing, if you're just learning how to grow, whatever. I'm looking for anybody who wants to be part of a community and talk about everything gardening. So if you're into flowers, vegetables, container gardening, patio gardening, if you have, greenhouse or anything, anything goes. So we have people from all over the globe in our community now. So that's pretty exciting. So again, just go to the link in the chat here or link in the description to join up. As I was saying, Glenda is one of the founding members in our community, and she shared one of her recipes for a fermented pepper hot sauce. So that has been put into the community recipe box in our little group there so that anybody can access it later on in the season when you got your peppers harvesting and you want to find a great recipe to use them in. Then Glenda is our first person to bring a recipe to the community. So again, thank you, Glenda, for doing that. And like I say, when you get in the community, we're looking for recipes. We're looking for, tips, tricks, anything that you can bring to the community, or if you just want to ask questions or just read all the chats and learn. I'm slowly setting up different modules inside the classrooms of this community, kind of going by what people would like to see in those modules. So they're always growing, we're always expanding. So again, check out the link and hope to see you in the community. So I'm just going to show you some of the stuff that I've been doing. If anybody's joining me, just say hello in the chat. Let me know where you're from. So far, we have a whole bunch of onions going. So these are something that usually you start about 12 weeks before your last frost date. So I've planted up some Walla Wallas and some red onions. Those are the two standard types of onions that I enjoy planting out in my garden. I like to start them from seed and grow them indoors. So these are at about, I guess, about 3 weeks now. And they will stay in these containers right up until it's time to plant them out in the garden. They're really easy. They can grow, you can grow them really thick in these containers. And when it comes time to planting them out, you just basically break them apart and plant them up in your ground or your containers, your flower beds, wherever you're putting your onions. You can give them a little haircut when they start to get pretty long here. They're under grow lights, of course, so they're growing nicely. And maybe in a couple weeks, you can give them a trim. You can use these, trimmings that you take off. Use them in your cooking, throw them in your salad. And I also, when I start watering them, usually give them a little bit of a feeding every couple weeks. Get some organic liquid fertilizer that you can just add to your watering can and give your onions a little feeding because they're going to need a little nutrition as they get growing. So those are doing well so far. I also have a whole bunch of petunias that aren't doing that great. I took all my seeds from my petunia plants last fall and just harvested them myself. And I got, a variety of different colors going here. Some of them didn't sprout like I was hoping. And those, again, are something that you should start about 12 weeks before, your last frost date. They're a little slow to grow. But I just sprinkled some more seeds into the cells that didn't sprout. You can do that over the next few weeks. It's no big deal if you find you're not getting good germination. You maybe just need to get some newer seeds or just try replanting some and just see if you can get them going. And I also got some celery and some herbs started. So we've been doing these every week. I've been showing you something that I'm starting up, and today we are doing peppers. It's a little bit early for starting peppers for me because we have our last frost date here in Saskatchewan. Zone 3 isn't till mid-May, but May 15th to May 20th is when we kind of gauge our last frost date to be. And counting back to today, we're at 12 weeks away from our last frost date. So if you're in a warmer growing zone where, maybe you start planting your garden out early May, then, starting your peppers now is a good time. But really, it doesn't have to be right now. I just wanted to be able to show everybody what I'm doing, how I'm planting my peppers up here, and kind of show you the technique that I like to use. Most of my peppers, when you have a look at the packaging, some of them recommend 8 to 10 weeks before last frost date. Something I think usually hot peppers like jalapenos are slower growing than the sweet peppers. So they usually have an 8 to 10 week recommendation that you start before last frost. Because when I look at a sweet pepper, like the King of the North green pepper, they recommend, where do I see this here? 6 to 10 weeks. So it's, that's quite a range actually. So again, I'm a little bit early with starting my peppers here where I am, but I just wanted to be able to show you the solo cup method that I've been using. Um, I don't grow tons of peppers, so I don't need to, have a whole 72 cell thing to start mine in, but it just depends on how many you want to be growing. If you're just a small scale gardener, like I call myself, and you just want to have 3 or 4 plants, you're going to be just putting them into a container, sorry, my phone's ringing. I had to hang up on my dad. Sorry, Dad. So yeah, if you're just planting them out into containers or into a garden bed, or maybe just growing them on um, your patio or something like that. Peppers are a great plant to grow in a nice container. You don't need anything too big, like a 5 gallon would work really good. So what I like to do is just plant them up in my solo cups. These are one of my favorite containers to use for tomatoes and peppers. If you do eggplants or something like that, um, these work good too. And I do a lot of my flowers in here that I'm going to just transplant right into the garden. So that's why I like to use these, because I don't have to grow them and then transplant them into something else, up pot them, or whatever you want to call it. So what I do with my solo cups is I just make sure that you got some drainage on the bottom here. So I'm just going to show you up close, try to show you. I just take my scissors and just clip a little bit around the bottom here so that you have a little drainage and a little bit of airflow and room for those roots when they start popping out the bottom. So basically I'm just cutting away little ends of the cup, and I can see that there, so that there is some holes, and then when you're watering, any excess water will also drain through as well. So that's basically how I do that. And then I just write on here with my Jiffy marker what I'm planting so I can keep track. And the other little trick that I like to use is usually we start our seeds in a light seed starting mix. But because these are going to be growing in here, for the whole, 2 months before they go outdoors, they're going to need a little bit of, um, potting soil that's got maybe some more organic material, some fertilizer type stuff in it. So what I do when I'm filling up my cups is I start off with using some premium, starter, what is this, vegetable herb mix. So this actually has, some fertilizer in it. It's a little bit heavier. It's got a little bit bigger chunks in it. And I usually take my cup and fill it about 3/4 of the way with some of this type of potting soil first. And then I top it up with my seed starting mix. So this is the seed starting mix here. So basically, there's all sorts of different brands, but the seed starting mix is usually just um, what is it? Just peat moss and a little bit of vermiculite. Usually, I'm just trying to look and see here. Yeah, it's usually just peat moss or coconut coir, and it's very light. And that way, your little seeds aren't in anything too heavy, and they will, sprout easier with using the lighter mix like this. Plus, they don't need any of that nutrition. The seeds has all they need for, to get started, to get germinated, and to kind of get sprouting. They kind of live off the nutrition inside their seeds. So this is good for, the first, inch or so, 2 inches. That way, your seeds get growing, get started, and as they start to develop and grow and the roots start moving down into the cup, we got a nice long space here of about 4 inches that those roots can grow down into and really get well developed. And it can just live in this, for the whole time while it's being growing indoors until it's ready to start hardening off outside and, get ready to be planted out into your garden. So I have a few varieties here that I am uh, planting up tonight that are just my personal choice. I have my King of the North green pepper. I don't know if you're anybody's a green pepper fan, but that's just a good standard, pepper to grow. They do well here in my climate. I think anybody in any growing zone growing zone 2, 3, where I am, where it's colder. 2, 3, 4 is usually kind of what zone we have here in the prairies in Canada. And as you get further south into the States, you guys have a little bit warmer, longer growing seasons. So peppers, they love a lot of heat and they have quite a long growing season. So growing them here up in Canada, you do have to start them indoors for sure, get a good start on them, and then transplant them out. And they don't like it cold, so don't put them outside too soon. Wait until after your last frost date. Wait until your soil is, a good temperature, usually around 15 degrees Celsius, I think, is, what peppers want to be planted out in. They don't like to be cold, so, don't rush them. And, if you haven't started them yet, it's not too late. Anytime, by mid-March, you should be fine if you're planting your peppers indoors. Okay, so I usually do the old 2 to 3 seeds per container, just to make sure, in case there's a bad seed, that you have success with your germination. I just push them down a little bit, about 1/2 inch. I'll just try to show you here what I'm doing so you can see. So basically, I just put 3, kind of spread them out a little bit, just pushed them down with my fingers, just cover them up, pat them up. You can put a little bit more of the seed starting mix on top of that as well. And make sure you've written on there what you planted. I've gone a long time where I start throwing seeds in things, especially when I'm making a video. Forget to write down the variety. So I'm going to do a couple of the green pepper. Jalapeno is a good standard hot pepper that I usually grow and, try to make salsa or just enjoy jalapeno poppers. And again, Glenda from the community has shared a fermented hot pepper recipe, hot pepper sauce recipe that looks pretty awesome. And again, if you haven't joined the community, I see I've got a few people watching here. Just check out the link in the description box, the link in the chat there, and check out the community, join in, and you can be part of a real fun interactive group. We're just about at 50 members, so that's exciting. If you want to let me know where you are from in the chat, say hello. I'd love for somebody to come and talk to me. Metamorphosis. Okay. I'm thinking clear cups so I can see the You know what? That was something that I was thinking of too, because I have some clear cups. I don't know where they are right now. But yeah, if you just missed it here, I just took scissors and just trimmed away a few pieces around the bottom here. And so that you have some drainage holes and, room for the water to drain through and, have your roots when they start to get growing. If they need to, they can sprout out the bottom. Sometimes they get that big. So again, doing the jalapenos, hot peppers usually take longer, have a longer growing season. They recommend you start these about 8 to 10 weeks before last frost date. I'm going to do a rainbow. Again, these are just sweet peppers that I like to grow. So I've been growing these. They come out in different colors. You never know which color you're going to get. So that's kind of fun. I like to do sweet banana, which just is another variety of sweet peppers. They're kind of fun to cook up, make fried peppers, chop them up into salads. I'm more of a fresh sweet pepper kind of girl, so that's what I like to grow. But I also have had pretty good success with chili peppers, which is another hot one. I grow these a lot in the winter in my hydroponics as well because they do well indoors. Grow them, let them ripen, let them dry out, and make chili powder of them. So it's another great thing you can do with your hot peppers is when you get an abundance, just dry them up, grind them up, and you got some great seasoning for your cooking. So as I was just saying here, I like to start off with about 3/4 of potting soil that's got the fertilizer in it. Plant up, a few seeds or put a couple inches of the seed starting mix on the top, and then your seeds have a nice light layer of soil to grow in first, and then as they grow down into the cup, they're going to get some nutrition, and you can keep them in this container throughout the whole process indoors. So I'm just going to give a little shout out to the Bee Grit company. They sent me a bunch of these trays that I'm using here, and they work great for the solo cups because they're about 3 inches deep. These are solid bottom trays that I like to put my solo cups right into. And then when it comes time to watering everything, I can just bottom water, fill up the tray with, an inch or so of water and just let it wick up the water from the bottom. That's the best way to water is the bottom watering. As far as when they first get going, I just use a spritz bottle to keep the top moist. Moisten them from the top. You don't want the seeds to get dispersed or anything, so just lightly spritzing the top all the time is a great way to water them. And of course, they're going to go under grow lights. So if you have some grow lights like I have here, you see here, these are just, I don't know if you can see them, they're kind of bright, but these are just LED shop lights from Lowe's that I bought. They're not even grow lights specifically. They're just LEDs. These I've been using for years. I think this is like my 4th year. I just hang them from, a nice rack like this. I have chains on here so I can move them up and down as my plants grow. These work great. I have some actual grow lights over here that are also from Lowe's or Rona. I bought them maybe. But both, like I say, both work. You can get them on Amazon. You can click on my Amazon list in the description. That'll take you to all the different grow lights that I normally use. But yeah, unless you have a really sunny window, that you're going to get a lot of good sunlight right now, pretty much should use grow lights to get your peppers going. And I have a heated garage, thankfully, with some very big windows that are southeast facing, but not quite enough sunlight, not enough intensity in that sun yet. So once everything is going good, and we're probably, end of March, early April, and spring is really here, then you can move, stuff into your windows. So it's up to you. You can end up with a leggy plant if you don't have enough sun or light on them. So it is important to make sure you're using some kind of grow light, and just have them a couple inches away from the container when they first start to germinate and send out those 2 little leaves, because you really don't want them to get really leggy. Hello, MB Heritage Farms. I have not seen you guys for a long time. I used to follow you or watch you all the time. And how are you guys doing? I can't remember where you're from. Let me know where you guys are from again. So, where was I? So yeah, usually when I first put these out, I don't worry about getting grow lights on them until they germinate. So if you have a humidity dome like I do here, something like this, that you can put over top just to kind of keep that moisture in, fits over like that. You can use, a big long sheet of plastic. I've used plastic bags, clear plastic bags, just to cover it up, keep the humidity in. North Carolina, what's the weather like there? You guys, when's your last frost date? Or do you guys even get frost? I'm sorry, I don't remember what your weather's like there, but we are just melting here in Saskatchewan. It has been a plus temperatures. We had tons of snow this year, and it's soaking into the ground really nicely, which we love as farmers because we got early snow last fall, or maybe November. So the ground wasn't really frozen yet. So that's always good when we get a good snow coverage like that, because then when it melts in the spring, it doesn't just run off the ground because it's frozen. It actually soaks in. So that's the best kind of melt you want in the spring, when you're a farmer or a gardener. So that's that. So I don't know what else other than I guess, to do the bottom watering is the best way. Just kind of spritz the top to keep that moisture in. And once they start germinating and growing, then just bottom water and that soil will seep it up. And eventually the roots will find that. That way you kind of don't have to worry about getting that damping off where it gets the green moss and bacteria or whatever that is growing on the top of your soil and causing, that can kill your seedlings and stuff like that. So, another thing that I always usually do after I've planted them up is sprinkle some vermiculite on the top. And that also kind of keeps the moisture in, kind of keeps the gnats, the fungus gnats out of there. Sometimes when you're doing a lot of indoor growing, those fungus gnats start moving in and, it can get out of control. So far my winter growing, I haven't had an issue with fungus gnats, thankfully. And it also, just helps keep the moisture in, kind of nice protective layer over your seeds. Um, Last expected frost. Oh, 3 more weeks. Wow. So you must have a lot of things started indoors and getting them ready to go outside. My big dream is to get a greenhouse built. I have a garden shed outside. Of course, it's very cold out there, but if I can get, have this vision of a greenhouse, built on the side of it that will, we can put some heat in early spring. We got some power source out there, and hopefully be able to start a lot more things a little bit sooner. But for now, it's all indoors under the lights. Then I moved to my garage, and we can't start putting out things like this until end of May. We always use May long weekend as my planting weekend for, usually tomatoes and peppers and everything that's we can't handle the cold. We can do the lettuces and the peas, potatoes, early May. But yeah, so we still have a ways to go here in Saskatchewan before anything's going to go outdoors. And who knows, we can probably get a ton more snow before before spring comes. So anything can happen now in the next 2 months. The weather can really pick and choose, but it's looking like March is going to come in like a lamb, and we're going to have some, a lot of melting going on, and it gets you all excited for spring. So again, I just want to let everybody know up in the chat and in the description box, if you haven't joined our community, I really love to see people who are gardeners and got some great experience coming in. Just a place where we can chat and share ideas, share knowledge. I have a lot of members in there who are new to gardening and wanting to learn. So I don't know everything. So I'm hoping we got people coming in with their ideas on different things. I'm really wanting to learn more about different flowers, growing different flowers that you can do cut flowers, or I do a lot of pollinator type flowers, start them indoors that I grow amongst my garden vegetables, just to bring in the pollinators and deter the pests and do all those things that those companion flowers do. So that is something that I've shared in the community, is a whole variety of companion type plants that you can use in your garden. I have a whole section on hydroponics in the community. So that's something I do in the winter time. As you can see up here, I have it's like an arrow garden, but it's a I Do brand, and I just harvested about a dozen cherry tomatoes off of it. And I'll show you some. So these are just your basic cherry tomatoes, and they're like a bush variety. So these are really great to grow indoors. As soon as the fall time comes and I can't grow outside anymore, it gets too cold, I start my indoor hydroponics, and I use very simple crack key method to grow tomatoes, cucumbers, cucumbers, peppers, tomatoes, strawberries. And yeah, it's just a great way to keep things going all winter long. Um, this is an example of another thing. This is a rosemary that I started from seed with a hydroponic system. So it's basically just growing in water and it's just roots, a root system. This one is actually looking pretty, just about at the end of its life. But you can grow herbs really easy with this crafting method. It's just basically water with nutrients in it, set it up and under some grow lights, and you can easily grow a lot of things indoors. So I have a whole classroom section in the community about that as well. The other thing I've been doing is taking cuttings. I have my coleus here. I love to put coleus out in the pots out in the garden around my patio. These things are root super easy. I just cut these off the plant just 2 weeks ago, and they were already shooting out roots. So I have these cuttings going. I will pot them up in a container like this in the next few weeks and just get a whole bunch of these going so that I can fill my pots with them. So I try to do as much as I can from seed, as much as I can, as much space as I can um, find with grow lights. I have a lot of grow lights, so um, as many things as I can start myself and just save on having to go buy things at the greenhouse. Um, every year it seems like that becomes more and more expensive. I can easily go spend $100 and some just buying, you know, a dozen or a couple dozen just potting or nursery plants for my pots and stuff. So anyways, I think that, that's all I'm going to go through tonight is, how I start up my peppers. Again, a solo cup is super easy. You can just cut a few pieces out of the bottom to create some drainage. And I mean, if you have nursery pots that you save, those 4-inch ones, those are good ones to use as well. And again, I just fill it up about 3/4 of the way with some organic potting soil that's got the fertilizer nutrients in it, and then top it up with a couple inches of the seed starting mix, 2 or 3 seeds in there. Keep the top moist, and with the spritzer, use a little bit of the vermiculite on the top, and then as you move along, just bottom water, and it's super easy. I know a lot of people do the double cup method with tomatoes and peppers, where you have one without holes and then the one with the holes goes in it. I just found that really hard to when it comes time to watering, especially when you have a whole tray of them under lights. You got to pull them all out and lift the cup out and water in there. I have a I have a video about this with tomatoes where I'm bashing the 2-cup method because I'm a 1-cup girl, and I just find this works really easy because you don't even have to pull your tray out from under the lights when it goes time to water. You can just take your watering can and put an inch or two of water right into this tray. Again, the Bee Grit company sent me, I think, 5 of these, so I have unlimited supply trays. Thank you so much. These are working great. They're quite durable, and I have a lot of old ones that are ready for the garbage. So I was glad that they shared these with me just to promote on my channel. And you can check out the link to these in the description box below. So I think I'm going to wrap it up. My husband is, I think, waiting for me to come visit him. He's been out skidooing today. We still have enough snow to skidoo and enjoying some snowshoeing that he enjoys doing, and just taking advantage of these warm days while we still have lots of snow. So I hope that again you guys will uh, go check out the community. I just wanted to show you that it is located on the school app. So it's not, a Facebook group. This is a platform that I'm really loving because it's quite, it's a nice platform. It's just like an icon. It's a school, SKOOL, and you can just download it to your phone. And then when you're in the community, it's just like having your Facebook app or your Instagram app. You can just tap on it, go into the community, uh, type your questions, share a picture of something you're growing, check out the other members and just have fun. That's kind of what it's there for. I just like to have more interaction, be able to talk to people, and I'm always sharing my videos, of course, on there and everything that I know about gardening. But again, I don't know everything, so I would love to have more people in my community sharing their knowledge with me. So again, thank you guys for joining me. Thank you, MB Heritage, Metamorphosis, for talking to me in the chat. That's great. I just started doing lives this winter, and I kind of enjoy it. It beats having to film and edit and be kind of boring with my stuff that I'm doing here, and it just feels better when I'm actually just talking to somebody and showing you how to do things. So hopefully people find this helpful, and will watch the replay if they want to know how to do the solo cup method for peppers. And yeah, I think that is it for tonight. Thanks again for everybody for joining me, and if you wouldn't mind giving me a like, I think, or I'm not sure, I don't even see it on here, but yeah, give me a like, leave a comment, and we hopefully will see you next week. I'm not sure what I might be planting up next week, but that's why I love my community. They tell me what they would like to see on my videos, and give me some ideas. So again, hello, I see I have 7 people joining right now, which is awesome. And again, if you missed me on the live here, you can watch the replay, and we will hopefully see you coming up in the next week or so. So have a good night, everybody, and happy gardening.